I'm Lauren. I was born and raised right outside of Chicago, and I was lucky enough to land in Youngstown. I've been telling stories since I was in high school, and I want to continue doing that right here.
My name is Mike Case, and I love this area. I grew up here, I went to school here, and I work here. Always have. Lauren and I both know there are so many good stories to tell and so many good people that deserve the spotlight. And this program allows us to do just that. Good afternoon, welcome. Another edition of Valley Spotlight, everybody.
I am Lauren, and this is Mike, and so many of you are joining us every week on Sundays and online and on Roku, so thank you. Right?
It's almost way more than we expected.
We're a little surprised. We just wanted to tell good stories. We were hoping somebody would listen, and here you are.
We have a couple of good ones for you this week. Let's start from the end.
Okay.
Sabina got to go to the fair. So did we hook our camera up to her?
We did. We put a camera right here, so you're going to be able to experience the Canfield Fair through the eyes of a 4-year-old. And a lot of research says that kids, they start to develop these very early memories between 3 and 4 years old. Yeah. So I thought, how great would it be to capture this and to be able to save it, because that could be one of her earliest memories.
It could be.
I hope it is.
And you'll get to see it from this perspective.
From this perspective.
That's right. We are going to visit with the gang at the Community Food Warehouse. Hunger Action Month is the month of September, so we're going to talk about them. The sisters that kind of put it all together, and 35 years in business.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing, the two of them. So have been good friends of ours for a long time.
They have. And now for the shop that everybody knows, with the car with a slingshot in the back.
I know, and the Pinto, and that's basically the only reason that some people know what Star Supply is. But today, we have decided that we would take a closer look at this business, why it's been so successful, where it came from, and why it was started in the first place. And when you see where it started and now where it is, you will be shocked, just as I was. And those iconic signs, well, they genuinely mean something in this store. Take a look at this. Star Supply is one of those businesses that is hard to miss. With its iconic green exterior and bright yellow signs, you can almost feel the eclectic product line and the sense of humor before you even walk through the door.
Basically, we're an unusual store, and we have unusual goods as well as usual goods that have real meaning and real need.
Upon entry, it's hard to know where to look first. Every shelf is packed with useful items that ended up in the unuseful category for larger companies. The overstocked items find new meaning on these shelves thanks to Richard Rosenthal.
We don't sell a lot of fluff and psychological needs. It's people doing repairs or inventive people, creative people. We do business probably within 50 to 100 miles. People travel to see these goods and buy them. And we've been doing it for 50 years. We started in 1968.
You see, Richard knows a thing or two about what it means to be useful. Many decades ago, his father made the decision that he didn't have a use in their family business. But
it had nothing to do with business. It was, he was kind of old world. He didn't appreciate my abilities and my handsomeness. And and I must say, it was a couple years of struggle there, family struggle, when I came here on my own, which I'm really pleased and proud of and happy about. But we became really good friends, and we were until he passed maybe 15 years later.
In 1968, with the support from other family members and his mentor, Bill Clark, Richard decided to define what useful would mean for him. With a will to succeed and a witty sense of humor, Richard opened Star Supply, a place where so many things and people have use and value. Take Tracy Segretti, for example.
Probably 20 years. So, yeah, I used to come in just one day a week. Now I work here all the time, so whenever we need signs, I'm here, yeah.
She leaves her mark, or her marker, so to speak, in a way that has helped display that same sense of witty usefulness that Richard built his business around. Thousands of signs, thousands of jokes. Some are good enough to steal.
But it might be funny, and if it made them laugh, they might say, oh, I'll take that. And just the novelty of something that was done by hand.
Richard remembers the first sign he took a chance on. He also remembers the customer reaction.
I remember standing there at the counter, watching this person walking down the aisle, looking at the stuff, and reads it, walks on, and then got hysterical, a few feet away, came back and looked at it and read it again, and that's the day it changed that I would make up funny signs. So I remember that clearly.
Richard comes up with the content and Tracy executes the art. It's a match made for the stars at Star Supply.
I think the whole store has a tone, and I'm glad to participate in it because, we have fun here, so, the customers enjoy themselves. It's all good.
So a big thank you to Richard for sharing that story with us. Sometimes you just don't know what people are going to say until you start asking questions. Like, I didn't walk in there knowing any of that.
It's a cool place, though, isn't it?
It really is.
One man's trash, another man's treasure.
That is for sure. And I guess it's technically all of our treasure now because it's been there for so long.
It's neat. I love driving by there.
Me too.
That's for sure.
Me too.
All right, when we come back, you're going to grill a little bit. Still some time left to grill.
Yes, absolutely. And we're taking grilling to literally a new level. Wait till you see this piece of meat, this ribeye. It's unbelievable. Mark Canzonetta makes it look so easy and so good.
Be right back.
No hot water? Call A to Z Dependable Services. Our fully stocked rapid response water heater specialist will get you back in hot water in no time. A to Z is the only call you need to make. Only A to Z.com.
Bistro 1907 is a classic yet unique American bistro. This space lets us immerse ourselves in history. The dishes are inspired by our past but have a modern twist. Bistro 1907 by Mark Canzonetta is unlike any place else. Find out why. I'm Mark Canzonetta, and I welcome you to Bistro 1907.
Changing things up today in the test kitchen because we have moved everything that's fantastic about Bistro 1907
We're outside, Lauren.
Out to the patio.
I know,
Mark.
what a beautiful day in Youngstown, Ohio.
It doesn't get much better than
I
this.
know, and
does
we're
it,
sitting
my
here
friend?
in historic downtown Youngstown overlooking the square, and we're going to cook some beef because we're in
gonna
summer.
Cook some serious beef. Look at the size
Look at this
of
steak.
this thing.
So this is our 48-ounce tomahawk ribeye steak from Lanning's. It's near Mount Vernon, Ohio, a little bit south of Columbus, and that's 48 ounces, 2 inches thick of tomahawk ribeye steak, and we're going to cook that. So Lauren, I want you to help season that for me. So I'm going to put liberal amount of salt because when you have a piece of meat 2 inches thick, you have to season it liberally.
So you just
because
keep on going?
You just keep going like this is what you're paid to do for a living.
Gosh, that grill is so hot too.
I know.
Thank you to our friends from Youngstown Propane.
Absolutely, they delivered it this morning.
Bringing this out for us today because my goodness, is that baby hot right now?
Yes,
I feel
it is.
it on my face.
So now we're going to take this.
Oh, am I good? Is it good enough?
You're good, and I can add a little bit more, and we're just going to put it on the grill. And if you don't hear that noise when you put it on the grill, you're in trouble because you're going to steam the meat. Because what we want to do is we want to start to caramelize the sugars inside of the beef and the proteins inside of the beef so it has that great bark when we go to eat it, okay? So this steak on your grill, and this is enough to feed a family of 4. So this could be a luxury at the end of the summer barbecue, or this would be where you're having some great friends over to have a cocktail party, but you want to season that liberally. It's going to be enough to serve 4 people.
That is more than enough to serve 4
So
people.
you can do this cover down because we want to cook from the top and bottom. So we're going to put the cover down on that. And now we're going to go over and we want to serve that steak with some beautiful mushrooms because what's not better than steak and mushrooms?
No kidding.
So we have our induction burner and we're going to put some olive oil down. I'm going to turn that up to high.
Turn it up
a little
to
bit
high.
of butter.
Oh, I hear it a little bit.
A little bit of sizzle there.
Sizzle.
And it's going to start to sizzle. We're going to add some onions. Because we want some onions. And what you have to do with onions, because onions have a lot of sulfur in them, you want to take a little bit of salt with the onions, and it draws out the sulfur, draws out the moisture, and it starts to release them and make them caramelized and both sweet
a
and
little
soft.
bit sweeter, so
exactly.
it like balances out the acid.
Exactly.
Okay.
We're going to add 2 different kinds of mushrooms. We're going to add shiitakes, because I love shiitake mushrooms. They're meaty, they're earthy, they're delicious. And then we're going to add the mushrooms we all grew up with.
I was going to say, those
the
I
moonlight
recognize.
mushrooms. Yes, these are the moonlight mushrooms we grew up with. And sometimes you got them in the can at home, and sometimes you got them fresh. It just depended.
Yep.
So now I want to throw down some fresh herbs on this. I love having basil. I love having thyme and rosemary to go with mushrooms. It's such a great
you just leave it
flavor.
in whole like
We're just
that?
going to leave it in whole like that, and it's going to flavor the whole dish. We're going to add some slivered garlic, because I like to add slivered garlic, because that way if my guest doesn't want that garlic going in, they just like the flavor of it.
take it out.
They can take it out and
So you
put
don't
it off
have
to the
bad
side.
breath later.
You don't have bad breath
Right.
later. Okay? And we're just going to start to let these saute down. And you can see they're starting to get happy.
I love
They're
it when
gonna
you
start
say
to-
they start to get happy.
They're starting to get happy.
We're going to make t-shirts that say,
I know.
get happy.
Well, you got to take a little bit from the past, and Emeril Lagasse, one of the greatest showmen in Food Network history, he always made things happy
He really
in the
did.
saute pan. So to make this really happy now, we're going to make Cabernet mushrooms. So we're going to take, and if you want to step back just a little bit, and we're going to add about a half a bottle of Cabernet to this. And we're just going to let that Cabernet Sauvignon cook inside of there. And just remember, Lauren, when you're cooking with wine, you want to make sure you're able to drink it. So tell me, how's this Cabernet taste?
I didn't see that one coming. I was like, yeah? What about it, Mark? What about it? Okay, let me test it out. And you guys have some really great house wines
Oh, we have
here.
some great. We have 24 different glasses of wine, bottles of wine you can get by the glass. And at happy hour, they're half off Monday through Friday.
Cheers.
Great.
Cheers,
So
my friend.
We're
You
going
don't
to let
have
this
any
cook
yet.
and simmer for about a half hour. We're going to let this steak cook for about a half hour. We're going to come back in about 5 minutes. We're going to flip it over so we get those beautiful cross sear marks, or hatch marks as everybody knows them to be. And then we'll be back to finish the dish.
Sounds good, Mark. Thank you. We'll be
You're
right
welcome.
back. It's dynamite.
Baby, you got some big feet. Where do you get shoes for those feet?
I buy them at Briars, of course. They have all sizes, even for me. They're always tax-free and located in beautiful downtown Sharon.
Has your home or business encountered burst pipes, a backed up sump pump, or a flooded basement? Call the water damage specialists at Hope Building Services. Our professionals are available 24/7 to respond to any water damage emergency. When in need, there's always hope. Call 330-393-9999.
If you suffer from snoring or sleep apnea, wake up. The Sleep Easy Dental Spa has created a simple oral sleep device that is life-changing.
A lot of our patients have had a CPAP and either can't wear it or hate it.
Well, I was looking for alternative therapies for years, but I heard about the Sleep Easy dental appliance, and I gave that a try, and voila, it works like magic.
This custom-fit sleep device is covered by most insurance plans and Medicare. Call today for your free consultation. The Sleep Easy Dental Spa. Sleep better tonight. Enjoy life tomorrow.
Hey, look at this.
Right? The magic of television,
Magic
my
of television. So we've cooked this. We flipped it 4 times.
4 times.
We've cooked it about 7.5 minutes on each side.
All right.
We're going to bring that up to a beautiful medium rare temperature. If you like it medium well done. I would never cook this steak well done personally, but if that's the way you like it, you bought it. It's your steak.
Exactly. You do what you want.
And then what I've done is I've pre-rested this for 5 minutes, because what happens is when you cook a steak, all the juices get pushed out.
Okay.
Whether it's steak, a pot roast, a piece of pork, or whatever, all the juices are push out from the proteins. So then what you have to do is let it rest for 5 minutes so they go back in. If not, it's going to drizzle all over everywhere.
Okay.
So we've taken these beautiful mushrooms. We're just going to swirl in some butter.
That's like is that like to finish it?
This is to finish it. We're going to finish it. Usually you finish with salt, pepper, butter. You stir that in. Now we're going to cut our steak. Look at this knife.
I was
Now
gonna
that's
say
a knife.
that's a gift. I hope that was a gift.
No,
from
no,
somebody.
I bought that
You
myself.
did?
And look at this gorgeous steak.
Oh my goodness, Mark.
Unbelievable. Going right down.
It's
Now you know you're going to have some fat with the ribeye, but that's okay. That's what we like.
want.
That's what we want with that
You
ribeye.
have at least taught me that is what gives it so much flavor.
Yes, and cut those generous slices for your guests so they feel like they're having a luxurious piece of meat. We're going to take some of those beautiful, gorgeous mushrooms and the jus and put it over the top. Just like this.
Can you tell I'm getting my fork ready
You're
already?
getting your fork ready. Season with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and let's put a little bit of fresh chive down on that. And Lauren, let me cut you a little piece from the edge right over there.
I would say a little baby piece, but I don't think I want a little baby
There
piece.
you go.
I think I want a
Check that out.
big mama piece.
And tell me how we did. Fantastic, right? Again, you can serve this at your party. You can serve this on your backyard. You can do whatever you want with it. You can also come down to Bistro 1907. It's not on the menu, it's on the secret menu.
Secret menu. Bistro1907.com is where all these recipes are. Cheers to you, my friend.
Oh, thank you so much,
What
Lauren.
a dynamite
Cheers.
chef.
What a great
What
steak.
a treat. Oh my goodness. I know. You get beets.
I got beets. I know. She gets a piece of meat that could kill a man if you hit him with it in the head. That's fine. I hope it was good.
I don't know. I didn't pick the menu. I mean, I just go with the flow.
What's next week? Ribs or
some sort of scallop, entrenched
lobster.
in gold.
Could be.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Mark.
Yeah, thank you.
Speaking of food, Michael, two sisters have never done it better, right?
Let's talk about that a little bit. When you start a business, the first thing you're hoping for is that it doesn't go out of business. But that's not the case at the Community Food Warehouse of Mercer County. After 35 years, it's bittersweet that they're still in business. The hunger problem just doesn't go away. But I wanted to show you the family inside this business that makes it go.
In 1982, National Castings, Chicago Bridge and Iron went down. Shortly after that, Westinghouse had laid off, and then they did another layoff, and then they shut down the plant. They didn't close it, but they stopped operations.
You probably know the story. The Mahoning and Shenango valleys felt like they lost everything. But here in western Pennsylvania, they did something to try to help. They needed a food bank to buy food on the cheap and distribute it to agencies across the area.
These people that were laid off were on unemployment, and then all of a sudden their unemployment ran out. So now you had all these thousands of people that needed food.
The Community Food Warehouse of Mercer County was born, working in the basement of the Sharon Herald at the time, and in 1985, the staff of two needed help. They needed Lori Weston.
I was the first secretary. I was actually the third employee.
She wore many hats, and eventually Lori was promoted to executive director, a job she didn't want.
I was nervous about it. I didn't feel that I had the qualifications to do that. Fortunately, my boss, Michael Wright, he had a lot of confidence in me and said, you can do it, you've done it, you've been doing it. You would just now do it on your own.
Well, not completely on her own. Lori needed someone to take over her old position and asked permission to hire her sister, Mimi.
She was scared and she wasn't confident that she could do it, but I knew she could. But she said, hey, can you help me? And at that given point in time, I was not working.
I know a lot of people say that they couldn't work with their sister, they couldn't work with their brother, but we clicked. What I was not good at, she was good at. What she wasn't, I was. And we just meshed, and things just worked very, very well.
And I worked for her. And so the respect I would give to anybody who would be my boss, and maybe even a little more, because she's my sister.
Since then, the Food Warehouse has grown by leaps and bounds. They have a team of workers now and plenty of volunteers. They've started many programs, including Harvest Helpings, which distributes fresh produce, their backpack program, which services 900 children on the weekends, and the new Military Share program for veterans that were too proud to take advantage of the help.
They are all in the same boat, so they feel that they can accept the help. And it's amazing. I had a veteran, a woman from Vietnam, a Vietnam veteran, come up to me at the distribution, throw her arms around my neck and cry and said, "We are not forgotten, thank you so much." I was shaken to my core.
We come back many times from some of these sites that we get to see, that we get the privilege to meet some of these people, and wow, you really sit back and you think, this is God's work. I know I'm doing the right thing.
Doing the right thing for so many. 4,200 households and over 7,000 people depend on this facility and this community every month.
This community is so supportive. I mean, I could ask anybody here, anybody, for help, and they'd come running.
Along the way, there have been a lot of trials, tribulations, thank yous, and tears. More businesses have shut down. Macy's was the latest to go, but the message and the story remains the same.
We're still here to help, and we're not going to stop working towards helping people.
You've got people's lives involved here. It's not just something that you can put off to the side. I can't. It's here in my heart, and I can't just turn that off.
People can't get ahead. So we're here. That's our story. We're here for you.
And if you see folks wearing orange during the month of September, this is why it is Hunger Action Month. So help your local food bank wherever you live. It's really, really important.
It sure is. It sure is. It's a cause near and dear to our hearts, for sure.
What a great couple of ladies, though. And they have a great team. The whole team is fantastic.
Yes, they do. Very motivated. Speaking of motivated.
Yes.
Our good friend Kate, she's a motivated real estate agent.
And if you're motivated to sell and you have an open house in your neighborhood, we're going to give you some tips on why or why not that's such a good idea.
Gentile Facial Plastic and Aesthetic Laser Center leads the way in using technology to improve the way you look and feel. Dr. Gentile is excited to offer a new effective procedure, Profound, the non-invasive facelift. Call us today.
Frank Marzullo here. When I come back to visit the Valley, it's usually to celebrate something big, and Briars is celebrating their 133rd anniversary. The forecast calls for a savings of 20 to 75% off the entire stock, plus you have the chance to win unbelievable prizes just for walking through the door. Bring a food donation and get another chance. Take a selfie on our red carpet, hashtag it Briars133, and you'll get one more chance to win. It's the Briars anniversary sale in beautiful downtown Sharon.
All right, time for more real estate tips from one of our favorite realtors here in the Valley, Kate Oesch from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. You just saw the sign, Open House Spectacular. And full disclosure, when there's one in my neighborhood, sometimes I just go to see the inside of somebody else's house. Does that happen?
It does all the time. We actually love nosy neighbors.
Do you?
Yeah, you know why?
Why?
Because you go tell your friends about the house.
That's right.
That's all we want. People talking about it.
All right, open houses. Let's say there's one brand new listing, open house. It's on this Sunday. What do I do?
You should go to the open house. If you want to buy the house, though, honestly, you should call your realtor and look at it on Tuesday because it might not be there on Sunday.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
And then if it's an open house, do I get there like right when it starts? Just in case?
The beginning would be good, yeah.
And then should I make my offer at the open house?
If you love the house, you should be prepared to make an offer that day. Yeah, especially on a brand new listing. So that might be an aggressive seller. They listed it, they're having it open, they want it gone. Sell it in a week.
Let's talk about an open house that has a house that's been on the market for a while. Let's say 6 months. Now they're having an open house. Should I worry now?
No, but sometimes that comes in conjunction with a price adjustment. Okay. So they drop the price, have an open house, and they're looking at offers. So that might be a great opportunity to make an offer. You might have some negotiating room there with that person.
If I'm a seller, why even have the open house? I got all these pictures online. Why can't people just look at it that way?
Oh, because it's not the same. You need to get in the house and take a look at it, and it does drive people to come take a look.
Let's talk about the internet a little bit. You see there are different sites out there, we won't name any, where you can see the houses and see the pictures of the house on there. Should I be worried about those, or is that a good starting point, or what do you think about those internet websites?
Some of the internet websites are great, and it's a good way to start looking for properties to see what it is that you like, what a 3-bedroom house would get you for $120,000 in your price point, or what a $500,000 house looks like. But beware of the internet searches and some of the internet sites because their data is not always accurate. Sometimes the houses have already sold or they're not even available for sale. I would say a pro tip would be to stay clear of the pre-foreclosures.
How do you guys sift through all that, or do you not even use those websites?
We don't even use those websites. We use something called the MLS, which is the multiple listing service.
Very good. Hey, if you'd like to get a hold of Kate and her team, you can do that. Her website is sellitkate.com. And do you have a phone number at the office or something you'd like to give to the folks?
My cell phone is 330-507-3528.
Thank you very much. And I wasn't kidding. I really do go to open houses just to see
to snoop around.
Yeah, see what their house looks like.
He's that guy. Sorry, everybody.
I'm not the only one, that's for sure.
That's the truth.
All right, you may not remember when you were 4.
But for so many of us, sometimes those are our earliest memories. So my little girl, Sabina, she just turned 4 and she loves the fair. So we figured we would show you the Canfield Fair literally through the eyes of a 4-year-old. And my eyes too, hate to admit it.
First things first, if we are going to share the fair from the perspective of a 4-year-old, one must start with the GoPro 4K camera. From the eyes of a 4-year-old. Sabina, where are we off to?
The Canfield Fair.
Are you excited? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Scale of 1 to 10.
Mom, do I look perfect?
You look perfect. You look absolutely perfect. And we're off to the races. Not the harness races today, but the horses were still a big hit. Milan the horse. Back in her saddle and off to the bunny building we go.
Now where to, Bean? Gonna go to the rabbit.
After the disappointment of not being able to bring home said bunny, it seemed like we should attempt to eat our way through the fair. One hot corn dog coming right up with a lemon shake to boot, of course. You want to go to the pool? It is pretty hot out here, isn't it, my love? Oh, Bean, how's that corn dog? Good. What do you want to eat next?
Fried dough.
Fried dough and what else?
Cotton candy.
Cotton candy. Sounds good, babe. With a few bites and sips in her tiny tummy, my pumpkin was ready to catch a glimpse of this year's prize winners. The crowds parted and the massive pumpkin emerged to much delight. And I will admit, one of the best parts of the fair is running into familiar faces. And running into Jess Berganti and her beau Tommy was certainly the highlight for me. From there, it was onwards and upwards, quite literally. As we climbed the stairs for a trip down the giant slide, all I could think was, this is not going to end well. This child won't even muster the courage to go down the slide at Chick-fil-A, let alone this massive thing. And of course, she proved me wrong. After our slide success, it seemed appropriate to celebrate with some cotton candy. And one would think this might be the best part of the Canfield Fair, but not according to my Sabina. What do you think, Bean? What's the best part of the Canfield Fair?
The ants.
They're all that. The best part of the Canfield Fair are the
Ants.
So that's favorite part.
Ants. I think you're building an ant barn now for next year's Canfield Fair. Should be good.
And
hey, I thought I saw a celebrity, a former Youngstown celebrity in there.
Jess Berganti, the one, the only. It was so good to see her. We've had a great show this week, huh?
Yeah, and if you just caught maybe the tail end of it and you want to watch online, you can do that. Our website is
valleyspotlight.com. And for those of you who are present in 2018, Michael's not this, you can watch us on Roku as well. So download the channel, Valley Spotlight.
There you go.
Sorry.
And also on Facebook too, which I am familiar with. Thank you.
Yes.
That's our show for this week. Have a good week, everybody.
Thank you.